Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Tuesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we have everything to talk Pittsburgh Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is up, guys? Crazy Monday now behind us. I'm still a little bit drained from it. News was flying off the shelf left and right. And today, a little bit less news, but still plenty to talk about, especially relating to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Two things we are going to be talking about regarding them today. What are they going to do What are they going to do at wide receiver now that Calvin Austin will be out for a handful of games? Maybe, strong maybe. Couple of interesting quotes from a couple Steeler players today could, put a bit of a damper on the report from Jerry Dulac. But will the Steelers get another wide receiver to replace Calvin Austin, their best option, arguably, off the market now? Not because the team he's on is good, but because probably one of the more gruesome injuries that we've seen in some time happened last night. We're going to break that down here in a second. Flacco, I already see you in the comment. I know you're upset about it. Also, regardless of if the Steelers address wide receiver or not, are they, in the current state of the AFC North, a shoo-in, a lock to win the division? We could be in that scenario right now because, not a lot going well for any of the AFC North teams other than the Steelers right now. So we will discuss about that as well. We will then wrap up the main segments of the day with a little bit of Pittsburgh Penguins talk. They last night having another preseason game where youngsters shined all around. Man, it is going to be very, very tough to project who is going to make this roster for opening night on October 7th. But hey, that is a good problem to have, not a bad one. And then we will get into some extra Pittsburgh sports news that we happen to come across along the way. First thing is first, if you're new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, leave a like on this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment in the comment section. Any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, get those in there. I enjoy interacting with you folks that way. Also, go give the channel a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Steel City SR. And be sure to tune back in later tonight on the channel and on the social medias for a new edition of SCSR60. With that, we go to the comment section. Like I just mentioned, Flacco, he's in there. Tyreek, not a good situation for him. That's where we're going to start today, Flacco, because the Steelers wide receiver 2 still a big topic to talk about for this team, and the top option of realistic options goes down immediately last night. We just talked about it last night. Could the Steelers, with Calvin Austin down, could they go after a Tyreek Hill now? Dolphins are 0-4. Steelers need a wide receiver. Kind of feels like a match made in heaven. And then what happened last night happens. An absolutely brutal injury for Hill. Dislocated knee. Of course, Monday Night Football had to zoom in on it, so you really got a good look at that knee injury. His foot should be pointing straight. Instead, it's pointing to the right. Not a good looking injury whatsoever. He gets carted off the field. What do y'all think about him, smiling and clapping on the cart as his way out? Like, people are making a big deal about that, and I'm just as confused there. Could be, realistically, the jokes that are flowing out there. Sure, you tear up your knee, but that's a man who is happy that he doesn't have to play with Tua Tagovailoa again. So, very interesting reaction to a devastating season-ending injury. Who the hell knows? Might be a career ender. We don't know how his rehab process is going to go. As you see there, Ian Rappaport saying that it is a dislocated knee for Hill. Also, that usually comes with multiple ligament tears. So pretty much he's going to be getting a full out knee construction, on his leg there. That's just very unfortunate. A dude, 33 years old, doesn't have any guarantees in his contract beyond this year. So the, future of Tyreek Hill's career very much in question right now. But yeah, he went and got surgery today, major reconstruction of multiple ligaments in his knee. I think from his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, I saw Tyreek's surgery went very well. Fortunately, everything was done with one procedure. The goal is for Tyreek to be ready for the start of next season. That's from his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. Don't know Tyreek Hill, but, I think for a majority of his career, he's been one of the more electric players out there. Hopefully, everything goes well for him on his road to recovery. But focusing on the Steelers impacted by this, what the hell are the Steelers going to do now at wide receiver? I mean, that was probably one of their top realistic options, and now he's down. So will the Steelers pivot to someone else? Who the hell knows? With that, I wanted to go through something today, going like team by team almost, and asking, does that team possess a wide receiver that the Steelers, could potentially be interested in? Like, let's go here from the realistic teams that could be sellers. Starting the AFC here, AFC East, Bills, Patriots. I mean, Patriots are 2-2, but I don't think any of those top two teams are going to be selling off wide receivers right now. The Dolphins, they just lost Tyreek, but they're 1-3, and their only wins against the Jets last night. So, I mean, let's be real here. They're going to be going into a long rebuild. Tua isn't the guy there. I know Hill got injured. Could they, maybe be persuaded to ship off a Jalen Waddle if that's available and being floated out there? I'd give the Dolphins a call. New York Jets 0-4. I mean, woof, just a dumpster fire. Garrett Wilson, pretty much the only guy worth anything wide receiver wise on that team. If you were to go and get like a Josh Reynolds or someone else on that team, you'd just be, getting another patchwork wide receiver who's a WR3 or 4 trying to play WR2. So it's Garrett Wilson or nothing for the Jets. I'm going to skip over the AFC North here. I honestly do not believe there's going to be a single in-division trade between these two teams. If so, then you are talking about a massive overpayment to get, even a middling wide receiver from either the Bengals, Ravens, or Browns. AFC South, Colts, Jags tied at the top of the division. Houston Texans 1-3. Tennessee Titans 0-4. Texans, I know this guy was linked to the Steelers before. Christian Kirk, could he be available? I'm not going to say, they're going to trade Nico Collins. I think they want to keep him there with CJ Stroud. But Christian Kirk, he only signed a 1-year, 2-year deal at most with the Texans. Steelers have been linked with him before, going back to when he was a Jacksonville Jaguar. If the Texans are going to be, that bad, I think they got the Ravens coming up this week. If the Ravens, even, without some guys, we're going to get to the Raven injury situation here next. All of a sudden, Texans sitting at 1-4. Could they be sellers? Christian Kirk be an option. Tennessee Titans, Calvin Ridley. I know it's going to be maybe a little bit hard to take away your top veteran receiver, away from a young team with a rookie quarterback, but that could be an option. AFC West, talked about it before, especially the team at the bottom of the division. Las Vegas Raiders, they're 1-3. Jacoby Myers, guy who's been linked to the Steelers before, that could be probably one of the more realistic options for the Steelers. All other teams in that division, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, I don't think they're going to be selling off anybody right now. NFC East, Cowboys, they're 1-2. They're down CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. You can't trade back for. They got nothing of value. Commanders, Eagles, I don't think they're going to be trading away anybody. New York Giants, I was about to say nothing really there either, but, if you were to ask the Giants for a wide receiver, Malik Neighbors is out. They weren't going to trade him anyway. Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, I don't know. As long as, they have a pipe dream of a chance, I don't think they're going to trade anybody away with a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart, but something to keep an eye on maybe a couple weeks from now at the trade deadline. NFC North, Lions, Packers, Vikings. I don't think any of those teams are going to be selling off any pieces. Chicago Bears, Flacco, I think you've brought up before. DJ Moore might be with Tyreek Hill out, maybe the Steelers do open up more phone lines here to other teams. DJ Moore be a solid addition. NFC South, of course, the obvious one here, New Orleans Saints, Chris Olave. I mean, sure, he's just as injury prone as everybody else in the league, but who knows, maybe a fresh start in a new place does well for him and he can stay healthy in, a role where he's not the focal point of the offense. I think it's been clear him and Alvin Kamara down there in NOLA. Olave's been the guy to watch out for. So maybe he comes up here. DK Metcalf's the number one. The Steelers use a ton of tight ends. Olave, he'd be, not forgotten, but he'd be, in a lesser role where he can benefit from that. So I'd be open to Olave coming. Panthers, I don't know. They got like Tet McMillan and Xavier Legette, two young guys they're not going to move off of. And then NFC West, that's just a dogfight right now. 3 teams at 3-1, Cardinals at 2-2. Cardinals got Marv Harrison Jr., and then they got injuries and mid guys, in my opinion, so nothing really there. But just talking through all that, who the Steelers could possibly pivot to right now. Top of my board, Jacoby Myers, Chris Olave, something like that, though those guys would cost a pretty penny. But, Tyreek Hill going down, you might have been able to scoop him up for a third at the highest round draft pick to bring him in here, finish out this all-in season, and then you revisit, re-signing him after the season. So that kind of sucks. To the comments section we go here. Got a couple of commenters in here. Flacco and Lance33, welcome back, guys. Felt like he was happy to get injured. You don't have to be in a locker room full of people that dislike him. Houston, Christian Kirk. Yeah, I would take Christian Kirk. Yeah, still confused as to why Tyreek was, so like happy and smiling. I guess doesn't have to play with 2 anymore. That'd be my guess there. Said here, Flacco. Can we win the division? Yes. Can we win a playoff game with the wide receivers that can't get open or catch? I don't think so. Yeah. Win the division, yes. We're going to get into it here in a second, Flacco. What the Steelers can do or how clear the path forward is for the Steelers to winning the division. I mean, yikes. All 3 AFC North teams other than them right now, they are in a lot of trouble. So we'll talk about that, but they do need to add one of the wide receivers that I just mentioned a couple minutes ago. So Lance 33 right here. Did the report on the severity of Ramsey Hammy? No, we don't know exactly what the severity of Ramsey's injury is. I'm assuming I'm going to wait here till maybe a Mike Tomlin press conference. Maybe he goes into clarity a little bit more how long Ramsey will be out then. But, Calvin Austin, he was said just like Ramsey to be out for a few games. And coming up in the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment, it might not be as serious as what we think for a couple of Austin's wide receiver roommates. Flacco here. Have zero faith in Roman. They started Scotty Miller over Roman. Yeah, time for Wilson to step up as a 3rd-round pick and get on the field. I don't see it happening, honestly. I wish Roman Wilson would, get on the field and get a chance. I thought he had a good preseason, didn't you? I thought Roman Wilson had a excellent preseason, and now real bullets start to fly here. He's nowhere to be found. I mean, hell, we were celebrating thinking like, hey, Roman Wilson's been found. He recovered the onside kick, and yeah, I don't get where Roman Wilson is. Why they aren't using him? Maybe he gets a chance now with Calvin Austin, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So I'm in the same boat as you, Flacco. Yeah, looking like a bust. He's just 2 years into his NFL career. Missed all of last year for the most part, and then had a good preseason, but can't get on the field for some reason this year. I just hope he shows something here in the absence of Calvin Austin here for a game or two. Like Michael Wilson from Arizona, Flacco says, Yeah, Michael Wilson. I forgot he was there. I was thinking like Greg Dortch, who is on season-ending IR for them, but Michael Wilson. Zay Flowers is still out there. Is Zay Flowers even healthy again? I don't know, but yeah, it could be interesting. Isn't he a bigger guy, Mike Wilson? So we'll see. Lance, yeah, just gave up on the dude to pray he does well, but zero faith. Yeah, not worried about Jalen Ramsey being out. Agree with that, Flacco. Joey Porter Jr. is coming back. You just got Deshaun Elliott back healthy, which that defense has been 10 times better with him on the field than the vice versa. So I think, you get Joey Jr. back, Darius Slay and Brandon Eccles, they can stay healthy. I think this defense going up against the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, your first two games out of the bye week, I think they can, keep the ship afloat until Ramsey gets back. So that'd be cool by me. Not, really addressing corner DB. Mark Derogatis here. Welcome, Mark. Hear a rumor the Steelers are interested in Olave. I hope so. I see those rumors too, but if there's, nothing truly, coming from a Steeler reporter or a national source, then, I sort of don't mention it here, but I hope it's true. Olave, I think he'd be at the top of my board. Seems like he can be another dynamic player for this offense, him or Jacoby Myers, just some guy who, could use a new scenery and not be the guy. Like Jacoby Myers, he's the guy out there in Vegas right now, so he's getting top corner attention. Same thing with Olave down in New Orleans, and right now, neither of those two guys have a quarterback to throw to them, quite honestly. I mean, Olave's got to catch passes from Spencer Rattler. If not, it's going to be Jake Hayner and Tyler Shuck. And then out in Vegas, Geno Smith looks like his saying they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. Sounds like you should be writing back right about now, Geno, because he's been asked. So Olave, I think he could be on a one-way ticket out of that hellhole down there in New Orleans right now. If so, I want the Steelers to go grab him. If not, still tiny bit of a little bit of good options left. Jacoby Myers, all that. So yeah, I'm all aboard that. Maybe the Bears are out of it by then. You can go get DJ Moore. Who knows? But Calvin Austin out. Regardless of how long he's going to be out, you need to go get a wide receiver to doubly more than what you thought in the preseason, because now you're just one DK Metcalf injury away from holy hell. The Steelers are in 11 personnel right now, and the three wide receivers you see out there on the field are Scotty Miller, Roman Wilson, and Ben Skoranek, which is just a nightmare fuel situation. Lance in here, he says it. 10 of you in here right now, please hit that like button on your way in. Share so we can get more viewers in here. Leave a comment in the comments section. Thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have. Get those in there. Super chats now available as well. Mark Derogatis again here. Sorry, Mark, if I mispronounce your name. There's the rumors of them trading Muth and Highsmith. What do you think? Honestly, wouldn't surprise me. I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday. So let's start here with Highsmith. Love Highsmith. Think he's a good compliment to TJ Watt. But, man, every single time, and there's been more than his fair share that he's got injured, you've seen Nick Herbig just go out there and ball. He is an absolute junkyard dog, just hunting after the quarterback like he's a ham sandwich from Permanis off that edge. So Herbig, he is making too much splash, too many big plays, especially in the last 2 weeks. For when Alex Highsmith comes back, you just go back to your old rotation where Highsmith gets like 75% of the snaps and Herbig comes in, to spell him when Highsmith is fatigued. So I'm right now all aboard the idea of, Herbig and Highsmith, their snap count being evened, maybe shaded a little bit more towards Herbig. And I think where the Highsmith rumors come in right now, I mean, yeah, Herbig, not really all that good against stopping the run. That's what comes with him being one of the smaller, you know, edge rushers out there. But you also are paying Alex Highsmith over or around $15 million, something like that. I don't know his exact contract here, but you're paying Alex Highsmith regardless a lot of money to occasionally get to the pass rusher and occasionally be good in run defense. I think that's where people defend Highsmith, saying, oh, he's a 10 times better run defender than Herbig, which, yeah, but also, has it really shown up this year? First 2 games of the season, they were running it to the left all the time, right at Alex Highsmith, and they were getting big gains of it, opposing teams. So, I mean, especially this year so far, run defense hasn't really been there for him. And now on top of it, he's gotten injured. You got a young Jack Sawyer who can stop the run pretty well, or at least learn to, right behind you. So instead of paying one guy in Alex Highsmith tons of money to not be as good of a pass rusher as Nick Herbig and be a main run stopper, but you got a cheaper option in Jack Sawyer, why pay one guy big money to do that stuff when you got a better pass rusher and what could be just as good of a run stopper right behind him? So that's where I see Alex Highsmith's, trade rumors coming in. As for Muth, I thought he was going to break out this year, be a bigger part of this offense. Second year with Arthur Smith running tight end heavy personnel, and you got also Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback who can actually throw him the ball over the middle of the field, not Kenny Pickett or Justin Fields or 5'11" Russell Wilson. But I mean, he is getting into Roman Wilson territory. Pat Freiermuth is, of holy hell, put this dude's face on a milk carton, because where the hell is he? Yeah, so I don't think they're going to trade him. I think, they like Darnell Washington, and Jonnu Smith still has yet to, break out in this offense. But for a team that runs heavy, 12, even 13 personnel more than any other team in the league, you're not about to ship off Pat Freiermuth and have your TE3 be Connor Hayward. So I do see where the rumors coming from. They are pretty warranted for how they've done this year, but at least for Freiermuth's case, I don't see it. Highsmith, who the hell knows? It might. Well, so let's see how he comes up out of this injury after the bye week. Keeping a lot of comments rolling right here. Flacco, real quick, with the $10 contribution. Thank you very much, Flacco. Shout out to Tomlin for checking up on Najee. Yep, very cool, very classy of Tomlin. I think, just because things didn't work out here in Pittsburgh with Najee doesn't mean that, those relationships with, those players just automatically go away. Tomlin, he's probably one of the best, if not the best, communicative coach in the NFL, checking in on former players. So, checking in on Najee. I think we all can agree here. Najee as the player here in Pittsburgh, frustrating at times, but Najee the person, can't really say anything bad about the guy that way. Lots of comments in here right now. Mark, Lance, Flacco, Echelon Motion Pictures. I see you in here, Echelon. Going to try to get to all your guys' comments, but I apologize if I miss a couple here. Echelon here comes the Jacoby Myers and Alvin Kamara trade. Alvin adds the unction. Alvin Kamara would be a hell of an addition here, but it's like impossible. Do you imagine a super team from like 2020 all in one place? Kamara in the backfield, Rodgers under center, Metcalf out wide, Jonnu Smith at tight end, defense, Ramsey, Watt, Hayward, Patrick Queen. Yeah, the unction would be crazy, complete with Alvin Kamara. Flacco giving me the details here on Michael Wilson, 25 years old, 6'2", 213. Solid size right there, kind of the middle ground between the likes of DK Metcalf and Scotty Miller here. So I'd be interested in it, though. Is he going to be a wide receiver 2 type player? We'll have to see. I want at least a guy with a little bit of brand name and pedigree here, so that we can legit have a guy that strikes fear into the hearts of defensive backs if, God forbid, Metcalf go down here. Lance 3-3 again. Queen was really flying around this week. He looked very good. Yeah, I went over in yesterday's stream my winners of the ball game. Of course, Rogers, Gainwell, Metcalf, they were winners. The Wisconsin products on defense, Watt, Benton, Herbig, they were winners as well. Deshaun Elliott, I mentioned him a bunch, thought he was a winner. But yeah, Patrick Queen, probably one of his best games as a Steeler. I might go as far as to say that was his second best game as a Steeler, Patrick Queen, second to the game he had last year against the Ravens in Pittsburgh. So yeah, he was flying around. I hope that he continues that. It looked like the middle linebackers in general, him, Peyton Wilson, they were taking the fight to the opponent instead of reacting off of what they do. They were proactive, following their instincts, getting after the quarterback. And that was a big, reason why they walked out of Ireland with a victory. I think I saw something today where the Steelers defense in the past 2 weeks have had 49 quarterback pressures and 11 sacks. Now that right there is $150 million defense type stuff right there. So yeah, I hope Queen brings out that version of himself more often than not. Lance 3-3 here, keep feeding the ball to DK as much as possible. He's a bad man, dude. I know people will come in here and they also watch the Sunday night game between the Packers and the Cowboys, and they say, "Oh my goodness, how could you let George Pickens go?" But then I just think back, you are getting George Pickens without all of the mental hula hoops and circus acts that you have to go through. DK Metcalf, my God, he was unbelievable. Man, that big should not move that fast. I mean, I love also the spunk and the competitiveness he had when flashing the L at one of the Vikings defenders chirping. So yeah, DK Metcalf, very, very good. Flocka, going back to my going through every single team down at the dumps right now in the NFL and who they could trade. Please don't say expensive Calvin Ridley. I just said that that it'd be hard to get a veteran wide receiver that good off of a team with a rookie quarterback. But then, I think they do got, like Van Jefferson down there. And, we know he's a wide receiver too. But also that Alec Eomanor, he's pretty solid down there. So who knows? I know you probably don't want him. But, I mean, hey, I'm taking anything I can get at this point because we lose Metcalf, we are screwed with a capital S. A lot of oohs there in the middle. Yeah. They have some good stock at linebacker. Again, 33. Looks like a run stuffer. Yeah, probably. I think I said this at the beginning of the year, too. One of the strongest linebacker rooms, inside and outside, in a decade for this team. Outside, pick your poison. Watt, Highsmith, Herbig, Sawyer. When Highsmith is healthy, of course. And then inside, you got Holcomb, Wilson, Queen. Malik Harrison is injured right now. She also got Carson Bruner in there, who had an impressive preseason. So, yeah, strong linebacking group right now. Muth we just paid and hasn't showed us nada, unfortunately. Yeah. Just think Creed Humphrey could have been a Steeler. That's one that I am not going to forget from one of Kevin Colbert's final drafts. Say what you want about drafting Kenny Pickett and Najee Harris, but Creed Humphrey could have been a Steeler. I love that Zach Frazier's here now that we got him, but yeah, that one hurts a bit. I mean, hopefully Muth can turn it around here, but it's getting dark real early. People have people have to stop saying trade Highsmith. It's not smart. We will complain about depth as soon as he leaves. And also, people act like Herbig is the healthiest edge ever in any, if anything, trade move. I agree with that, Echelon. I'm just, pointing out the argument here that, Highsmith, I mean, yeah, Herbig obviously isn't the, most healthiest guy in the world, but Highsmith, he's been dealing with injury after injury. Herbig gets after the pass, gets after the passer better than Highsmith, in my opinion. And Highsmith, his strongest quality, I think, that he brings at this point is his run defense. But teams have been running to his side with great success a bunch this year, and you got a young Jack Sawyer who's a similar profile to Highsmith as a big run stopper, right behind him. So we'll see. I don't think they're going to trade Highsmith, all in year, unless something outstanding comes up. Like you have another like Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey type trade on the table where a team is asking for Highsmith, but in return you get like I don't even know, just someone of Alex Highsmith's caliber or better at another position of need, then you do it. But I don't think they're going to do it. To the comments here, lots of comments in here. Welcome everyone. Appreciate all of the comments here in the comments section. Echelon again. W Flacco, W Tomlin with Najee. Yep. Lance saying I always like Najee. Black needs to become a nose tackle and have a double team held up every play. Benton is very explosive. Let him make plays rather than hold blocks. Yeah, well, I mean, Benton had himself a hell of a game on Sunday. Y.A. Black, I think, he didn't play much nose tackle in college, so I think they're slowly converting him to nose tackle here. But, I mean, yeah, I think he could be massive in the middle of that line. He just needs a little bit more development. Then you got Derek Harmon and Cam Hayward eating off the edges, or not off the edges, but, eating against one-on-one against guards. I'm cool with that. Flacco here. Bama fam followed him a bit, talking about Najee here. George Pickens, woo, THP times in. George Pickens, woo! Yeah, then we need a AJ Brown, Metcalf, and AJ Brown, two strong W wide receivers. Bring back Ole Miss glory days, right there. I mean, hell, I'm taking anything, name brand at that point at wide receiver too. It'll hit like psychedelics hit Aaron Rodgers for me here. Queen will never be a run stuffer, but he can run with backs and tight ends, and he can rush the passer. They need to send him more. Yeah, Queen, he's what? See, like 6'1" at the highest, so not the biggest of linebackers. You're gonna say stuff like that. I know I'm not sure about this guy's height too, but Cole Holcomb seems like a guy who could be a run stuffer better. Malik Harrison, you brought in a big body in him to do that. So yeah, get creative with Patrick Queen. If you're not going to get creative with like TJ Watt, moving him around the line, you got to move at least one of your linebackers around to get some, more confusion for opposing offenses, because every time they're lining up right now, it's like, okay, Nick Herbig or Alex Highsmith over there. Yeah, Peyton Wilson, Patrick Queen, TJ Watt. Front is what it is. Could see Cam Hayward, Derek Harmon, whoever's in the middle, Benton or Black is there. So yeah, get creative with Patrick Queen. Use him as a joker. Fast, athletic like that. You said he can run with backs and tight ends. I'm all for moving him around and blitzing him at times they don't expect. We got ties here, so it is what it is. Yeah. Hit that like, fellas. Keep the room growing, as indeed, Lance. Let's keep it going here. Also, like Leggett from the Panthers. Yeah, he's not going to get traded second year into his career there. Would be funny. Could you imagine Xavier Leggett in the personality he is in Pittsburgh? Imagine him trying like Permanis for the first time, or taking a ride up the incline plane, something like that. It'd be comedy. We are keeping a camera on him 24/7. That's for sure. He's like same thing goes for Keon Coleman with the Bills, just Absolutely electric, funny-ass guys. TJ Watt could have been a Cowboy instead of Mozzie Smith. South Carolina guy. He's got some good raw talent. Yeah, are you talking about Leggett there? You just got a South Carolina guy down there in Dallas THP. How about Jadeveon Clowney signing with you guys? But hey, have fun with Mozzie Smith. I don't forget TJ Watt there. Not to mention, was that Taco Charlton? Yeah, Taco was he's a Steeler, and he's a Steeler Cowboy connection too. My dad chimes in. If we trade Highsmith, never buying another jersey again. Can confirm. Does have a Highsmith jersey. Pretty much he's I got a better record or a better percentage of hitting on jersey picks compared to him because I got, the more amount of jerseys. So you take a lot of swings, you're bound to get a lot of hits. However, they trade Highsmith. That's over too because I know for sure there are 2 Kenny Pickett closets sitting somewhere in my closet. So that would not go good for him. Taco's taken ahead of TJ, I believe. Yep, Taco Charlton. What a legendary name. Could have had to be TJ Watt. I mean, hey, if it's any consolation, Steelers, we got Terrell Edmonds instead of Lamar Jackson. If you want to play the game of, we got this guy instead of this guy, we could play that game all night. Terrell Edmonds instead of Lamar Jackson. I think we took Muth over Creed Humphrey. We took Devin Bush, which turned out to be a good pick initially, but he didn't. We missed on someone over him as well. So yeah, we could play that game all night long here. Lance again. Would have loved to see them use Minka like they did Troy. Took an all-pro and made him cover the top 30 yards away from the ball. Yeah. I think, it's a little column A, a little column B. No one's, not at fault in that situation. Could Minka have been utilized more? Absolutely, 100%, 110%, yes. But also, I think there's stuff behind closed doors that we have not heard of where Minka, maybe it's because he realized they weren't going to use him, tried to play hero ball and was a detriment to communication on the defense there. So, I mean, sure, Minka could have been used better, but also I think he at times wasn't wasn't doing what he was told. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just happy we got Jalen Ramsey. Just hopefully this hamstring injury isn't a crusher. Still mad at him. Jalen Ramsey scared me. If you want to go back and watch the live reactions to the game from Sunday, that called back fumble scooped up for a touchdown. I'm like, oh my God, did Jalen hurt himself? And then he starts grittying like, you ass, and then goes out and does it for real. So karma bit him in the ass right there. Flacco switched accounts, had to go. Well, that's okay, Flacco. Appreciate all the comments in there. Lance, Flacco, THP, Echelon, leave Mark up there as well. So appreciate all of you guys commenting. Please keep it coming. We are going to change up things here a little bit, move on from talking about wide receivers and Tyreek's heel injury. We are sticking with the Steelers, however, and that is, are they a lock to win the AFC North right now? I mean, I'm never counting anybody out. The AFC North, it is one of the most unpredictable divisions in football. Any Sunday, anytime you have 2 teams from the North matchup, you have no idea which way the game is going to go. But golden opportunity here for the Steelers because last night, we've been talking about it, the Tyreek Hill injury, there was also another Monday Night Football game, and that is the Broncos, kind of like what the Vikings did last week, belt to ass on the Bengals. So the Bengals now 2-2. The Browns and Ravens 1-3. Your Pittsburgh Steelers, top of the AFC North right now, 3-1. So, I mean, dare I say, are the Steelers a lock the way things are heading? Let's just break it down real quick. Bengals, second blowout loss in a row last night. They lost to the Vikings, who we beat 48-10. And then, the Broncos beat up on them. The Broncos needed a win to, get their mojo go in the right direction again. Turns out you just needed to play the Bengals for that to happen. Their defense, ass. Jake Browning shouldn't have effing cut me, he said last year. Well, kind of should now. I mean, even hell, rumors are popping up left and right. Talking about rumors here, I saw about 4 different AI pictures today of who should the Cincinnati Bengals go get, and it's a picture of Russell Wilson in a Bengals uniform, Jameis Winston, Kirk Cousins. They're even scraping the bottom of the barrel saying that the Bengals should bring Derek Carr out of retirement. Well, Derek Carr, didn't he kind of retire because his body got beat up a whole hell of a lot throughout his career? So, yeah, let's put him on the Bengals where they have no offensive line. Let's let them get, absolutely ran over there as well. So, Bengals, I think it's safe to say, Joe Burrow out for 3 months. They're going to probably, unless they bring in one of those quarterbacks I mentioned and then they start lighting it up, they're going to be out of things completely by the time Burrow gets healthy. I mean, hell, I saw this, scrolled past this. The result of every Bengals drive on offense the last 2 games: punt, interception, punt, punt, field goal, fumble, 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 punt, interception, touchdown, punt, punt, field goal, punt, 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 punt. A total of 13 points with 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles, and more punts than I can count. Yeah, way that's going, they are going to be out of it before Joe Burrow gets back. So I think, we can start writing off the Bengals. Sure, as I say that, they might get one over on the Steelers just because that's the way AFC North football goes. But, yeah, they not looking good for them making the playoffs, let alone winning the division this year. Cleveland Browns, do I need to say more? I mean, honestly, we don't need to do a whole deep dive here on Cleveland. 1-3 already. Today, they said Dylan Gabriel is going to start over in London against the Vikings. So, best believe 9:30 a.m. We won't be live for it, but 9:30 a.m. Steelers are off. Let's turn on and see who's going to win. Either the Browns starting 5'10" Dylan Gabriel and leaving Shadur Sanders on the bench still, or the team that we just handled for majority of that ball game over the weekend. So that'll be a fun one to watch. Of course, hoping for the Vikings there to win. But yeah, Dylan Gabriel starting in that game. Also, Cedric Tillman, one of the wide receivers for the Browns, he just went on IR. They are signing Malachi Corley, who they got from the Jets, to the active roster. And then we get to the Baltimore Ravens, Flacco's favorite team, of course. And yeah, just not going good for them. I mean, everyone's saying, oh yeah, Ravens locked to win that division. Then the injury gods say, not so fast, my brother. Lamar Jackson, talked about him a little bit yesterday amongst all the other injuries for the Ravens going on. 2 to 3 weeks out with an injury, a hamstring injury. I assume that's probably going to be what we're looking at with Jalen Ramsey, by the way, 2 to 3 weeks. So maybe he's back week 7 against the Bengals. Maybe he's not. If so, Browns-Bengals, out of the bye week. Think you can live without Jalen Ramsey for that. I mean, yeah, you're going to be going up against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but, with Jake Browning playing the way he is, not too worried about that. But yeah, Jackson out 2 to 3 weeks, so it is Cooper Gold Rush time for the Ravens. They play the Texans coming up next. Hopefully CJ Stroud and company can figure their stuff out. By the way, isn't that funny? We talked about, I saw someone bring this up. Remember a couple weeks ago when they said Shadur Sanders or Dion, I don't know who exactly it was, nixed the idea of the Ravens drafting Shadur, saying, no, we're not going to be there, and we're not going to go there and be a backup to Lamar. Well, if he would have just kept his mouth shut, Shadur Sanders will be starting against the Texans this weekend. Instead, he's going to be getting on a jet over to London just to watch Dylan Gabriel play in front of him. So that's hilarious. Also, the Ravens, I mean, yeah, injuries keep piling up. Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, Nnamdi Madubuike, he's out for the season for them. They got a whole laundry list of other guys banged up. They signed Eric Kendricks, the former Minnesota Vikings, or he's visiting with the Ravens, Eric Kendricks, and then they signed former first-round pick guard Kenyon Green to the practice squad. So the Ravens, they're bringing in guys off the couch left and right there. So Ravens injured to hell and back, down Jackson for a couple of weeks here. So, they could have another loss or two sprinkled in there. Bengals, I mean, they might be able to stay afloat for another week or two, but long term, they aren't going to be any sort of threat, I don't think. And then the Browns is the Browns here. You see there, Steelers, 85.5% chance of making the playoffs. All other teams in the AFC North, the Ravens, just barely hanging around 50% there. And then Cleveland and Cincy all the way down below 20 there. So Steelers, they do need to keep their foot on the gas, but looking real good for them right now in their pursuit of an AFC North title. That, who knows? Maybe you get a wild card game at home against one of those teams like the Colts or something like that. I don't know how any of these other divisions are going to shake out right now, but yeah, good position right now. Your Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting in. THP here again. It's ridiculous that the Steelers are front running now, to be honest. Yeah, did not expect this. I expected a bit of a slow start to the season. I mean, just they seemed like a couple of trap games in there. But yeah, 3-1 and injury gods. I think I said this at the beginning of the season. The injury gods needed to favor the Steelers for them to, win the division. And the top two quarterbacks in the division both go down, one out for the season. Far, the injury gods have hit the Steelers, a bit with Ramsey and Highsmith and that, but not as hard as those teams, that's for sure. Lamar out 2 to 4 weeks. Cooper Rush is a bum through for like 54 yards in a full game here. DHP former Cowboy Cooper Rush. Though wasn't he earning the job over Dak at one point? So Cooper Rush, once upon a time, kind of like Carson Wentz, did have something in there, but is it still there today? I don't know. Also, by the way, doesn't it just feel like so odd seeing Cooper Rush in a Ravens uniform? Just felt like one of those pictures that you swear is AI, but, somehow is real. Just Cooper Rush, since they signed him, never really felt like a Ravens, a guy who would fit the Ravens scheme. So who knows? Hopefully the Texans can figure out whatever sluggish start they're off to this season and beat the Ravens for us this weekend. Flock of all the crap people talking on our Steelers. I'm glad we are doing better than we looked week 2. Yeah. Heading into the bye week, I mean, yeah, you could use it getting healthy a little bit. And also, Jalen Ramsey and Calvin Austin, one of the weeks they're going to be out is going to be a bye. So thankful for that. You can also, tighten up a little bit of things. But after weeks 1 and 2, it didn't look like things were going to go well for the Steelers. But now, hey, put together 2 solid performances against the Patriots and the Vikings, and now they're in good position with the other teams around them struggling. So happy to see that. 7 of you in here right now, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Like, share, comment. Real quick, going to take a quick scroll here through Twitter, see if we have... Ooh, Ooh, how about that? We do have some breaking news here. It's in the baseball world, but we do have breaking news. So, first time in a while I've hit this. Let me hit this. Some Pittsburgh Pirates news. According to John Heyman, MLB insider, sources, the Pirates are letting go of pitching coach Oscar Marine. Oscar Marine, fired by the Pirates. Because pitching was totally the problem with this team. So Oscar Marine is gone. That's great. Okay. I'm shocked. I'm so confused. I'm bamboozled by this. Apparently, Jason Mackey. I'm glad I saw this before. I'm glad I saw this before I opened my mouth as to say who could possibly replace Marine that is still on staff. Apparently, Mike Rebello and Brent Strum. They are also not returning too, according to Jason Mackey. So your third base coach is out. The four-time World Series appearing, one-time winning pitching coach Brent Strum, who you brought in as assistant to Oscar Marine, is gone. And Oscar Marine itself, who has, gotten a whole hell of a lot out of this pitching staff, both starters and bullpen. All three of them. Like that. I am. Just when I thought that I couldn't get any more pissed off to the millionth degree with the Pirates, they go then and they do stupid shit like that. We brought back Donnie Kelly. Yay, happy feelings for all of 3 hours yesterday. Hey, we're going to bring back the dumbass GM that doesn't know talent, who let alone slapped him in the face. Absolutely, Roman Reigns, Superman punched him in the face. And then on top of that, hey, that pitching staff that, was lights out for a majority of the year, pretty good, especially when Donnie Kelly took over. The coaching staff that has helped develop guys. Well, Paul Skeens didn't need much developing, but has helped develop guys like Bubba Chandler and Braxton Ashcraft and Jared Jones there. Yeah, those guys, they're out of here. They did too well for Pittsburgh Pirate standards. What a bunch of morons. Unbelievable. Real quick. That is breaking news, by the way. I'm so confused by that. So confused. Yeah, firing him of all people was the problem. Out of all the coaches on the coaching staff, let's fire the pitching coach because we still, can't hit. But pitching was the problem. And I mean, maybe this guy does better with, better guys to work with, better hitters to work with. But I wouldn't have been shocked if Matt Haig, the hitting coach, got canned this offseason. The hit collector, dude who had, 17 total hits in his career, and he's your hitting coach? Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Some great thinking there. Pitching coach wasn't the problem. Yeah, I forgot Roman did the Superman punch. Hello, that's all right, Flocka. But yeah, that chimed in. Can we fire the owner and GM? I wish. I don't condone. Yeah. Well, let's hope that Oscar Marine and Brent Strum, which I absolutely was over the hill at hiring Brent Strum in the offseason as an assistant to Oscar Marine, guy who was with who was he with? The Astros and the Diamondbacks. And I think in like 8 years or something, he was in 4 World Series, won one of them with the Stros. So I was absolutely over the hill bringing him in. Mike Rabello, I mean, third base coach, he could have gone. I mean, I'm not sure what else he did besides third base coach, but I mean, hell, sent just about every single guy to the plate, and the Bucks got thrown out a ton. So, yeah, out of all the coaches to fire, they fire Oscar Marine. Top 10, shout out North Shore 9. Top 10 in MLB ERA was the Pirates pitching staff. A staff that, for a little bit there, kept the Pirates afloat, but the bats were just so abysmally terrible that they couldn't keep them afloat forever. One of the few bright spots of this team, all of a sudden, the leaders of that room out. Unfreaking believable. Okay, this is hilarious here. Pittsburgh Clothing Company, back in 2019, they posted this, and then they just shared it again. Okay, hear me out. AJ Burnett, Pirates pitching coach. I take it. Just wow. That one was a real sucker punch from the back. So, not the change we wanted or expected, but a change nonetheless. Brent Strum, Oscar Marine, Mike Rabello out for the Bucks. My dad chimes in, but we still got Vogel back. Yeah, we do. Danny Vogel back. Big Danny Burgers. His milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. He is still in that dugout, baby. He doesn't. Who the hell knows what he does, but Daniel Voback is still there. Let's employ him still. Let's employ him. Let's employ Matt Egg. Just, jeez. Like, at the very least, like, I don't know who does the hiring of coaches, whether it's Donnie Kelly or Ben Cherington, but, you know, I would have liked to see Oscar Marine. At least I can have a tiny bit of understanding from the Donnie Kelly side of it, him wanting to build his own coaching staff here. But, man, a coaching staff that had the MLB, had a top 10 MLB ERA, and, I mean, also just, you got like 8 starters. It's rare that teams have that good starting pitching depth. But now they're gone. Insane. That one. I'm trying to talk, my way through it here, what it could, possibly, what a possible bright side to this could be, but I don't see it. Here, let's do this right here. It's about how we're feeling right now. Right there. Wow. Okay. That's that. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to get off track there. A little confused by that, but hey, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. Why should we expect any difference? Anyways, gonna continue along with things here. Okay, well, this actually I can actually see this. So the Pirates, they, according to Alex Stumpf, they're officially firing Oscar Marine and Mike Rebello. So they say let go, but let's be honest, they're fired. Brent Strum, however, he's just retiring. So all right, so I now at least understand Brent Strum being let go. He wanted to hang it up. I mean, he deserves it. He's had a hell of a career as a coach, but still, Marine getting let go, Rebello. I doubt in 1 year that Brent Strum had with the Pirates. I doubt in 1 year that he was looked at as the mastermind behind the pitching here. So much that then, as soon as he retires, Marine and Rebello became expendable here. But yeah. Alex Stumpf, by the way, adding on, sounds like this might not be it for changes either. So hold on to your butts. Next thing we know, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to be getting rid of more guys. All right. Anyways, looking here, getting back on track here with what we're talking about today. Did want to switch gears before that breaking news came down to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just going to talk about them for a little bit. Last night, they had another preseason game. I believe they have 2 more preseason games left now. Pens last night in action in Detroit. Another lineup where it's, young guys and, third, fourth line guys fighting for roster spots in the lineup. Philip Hollander, Tommy Novak, Philip Tomasino was a line. Another young line, Ville Koivunen and Ben Kindel. Avery Hayes was another. We saw, I think, 2 defensive pairings that could be fighting to be the third deep pair for the Pens on opening night. Ryan Graves, Jack St. Ivany together. Ryan Shea and Matt Dumba together as well. Tristan Jarry getting the start last night for the black and gold. Was in net all night long, so maybe a warm up for him. Pens got on the board early within the first 4 minutes of the game. Ben Kindel streaking through the middle of the ice, excellent feed to him. Got in on a semi breakaway, nice pass from I believe Ryan Shea to Kindel. He finishes it, puts it in the net. Hell of a goal there by Ben Kindel, which I just want to stop there for a minute on him. Back on draft night, for the Pens, for the NHL draft, I was like screaming at the TV to trade up for Porter Martone. They stuck and picked. There were a couple other guys on the board who I would have been good picking. And then they picked Ben Kindel, which I had little clue as to who Ben Kindel was. But, on draft night, they draft Kindel. He was 5'11", so small, undersized centerman who was said not to be that good of a skater. I will take all of that back. I will retract that statement. Ben Kindel, throughout this preseason, finally gets his first preseason goal. I believe right there, he has been off the charts good in this preseason. Dare I say, kind of like Harrison Brunick, the defenseman for the Pens last year. Dare I say, let Kindel get his 9 games in the NHL before then you have to make a decision to either keep him on the roster and void a year of his contract or send him back to his junior team. He has been that good. Skating has been tremendous. He's been a dog in all 3 portions of the ice, neutral zone, in the offense and defense. Last night, I think I saw him, keeping the puck up against the boards with 2 Red Wings there, and he's been skating well. His strength has been better than I expected, and on top of it, he's scoring goals now. 18 years old, future bright with that kid. So I'll give him a ton of credit. Kyle Dubas said that he wanted the younger guys on this team and in this system to assert themselves. We've seen a ton of it thus far. Koivunen, Kindel, Harrison Brunick, Tristan Bros, Avery Hayes, to name a few. So it's gonna be a hell of a tough decisions plural, for Kyle Dubas to make here in a couple of days to get this roster finalized for opening night, because lots of young guys, lots of veterans. Who's going to get cut, waived, possibly traded? Who knows? But it's going to be a lot of decisions for the Pens to make. One of those guys who I think might be underratedly fighting for a spot on the NHL team, Tommy Novak, guy who we traded for from the Nashville Predators, sent Michael Bunting and a couple other things back in a trade for him. He got on the board last night as well. Great to see that from Tommy Novak. We still don't really know what we have in him. Is he going to be maybe a guy that works his way into the top six? Is he going to be, strictly a bottom line, penalty killer, grinder type guy? I don't know, but at least he's producing that way. So glad to see that. Last couple of notes here from the Pens, 2-1 final win there that you see there on your screen. The Avery Hayes, Ville Koivunen, and Ben Kindel line. Kindel did well. That line overall was good. Ryan Shea and Matt Dumba, that defensive pairing was good. Would not mind at all if that is the opening night third pairing behind Erik Karlsson and Parker Wotherspoon and Chris Letang with whoever's paired up with him. Philip Hollander, another young guy. He's kind of been, under the radar compared to some of the other high-profile prospects. But Philip Hollander, guy who's had a taste of NHL action before, but hasn't really made a spot for him on the roster full-time, could find his way on the opening night roster. He played well last night. And then Tristan Jarry, pretty solid in net. I can't remember who all the Red Wings played. If they had sort of a dress rehearsal, it wouldn't shock me, seeing how they were playing at home. But, Jarry, only one goal given up. Solid for him. I think he's going to be fighting all year long to fend off guys like Arturs Shalovs and Sergei Murashov, and eventually when he gets healthy, Yoel Blomqvist. But 2-1 win for the Pens. Great stuff from the young guys, Koivunen, Kindel, Avery Hayes, Philip Hollander. I think I heard Chase Piatilla had a nice night as well. So, good win there for the Penguins prospects and fourth liners. Hopefully more of that to come from them. And now we are on to tomorrow night. Another preseason game coming up for the Pens. They will be, I think they're in Buffalo. They will be in Buffalo. Roster for that game is out. Similar lineup to what you saw last night. Forwards making the trip to Buffalo. Hollander, Robbie Fabry, who I think this might be one of his last chances to make a statement and make the team off of a PTO. Joona Koppanen, Sam Poulin, Tristan Bros, Ville Koivunen, Danton Heinen, Blake Lizotte, who I'm interested to see him. I don't think we've seen a ton of him in the preseason. I think he's going to be your opening night fourth line center, maybe. I like his game just when he's healthy. Raphael Harvey-Pinard, Phil Tomasino. Noel Acciari will make his preseason debut. He's been dealing with a injury, rehabbing from core muscle surgery. Defense, pretty much the same unit here. Jack St. Ivany, Ryan Shea, Matt Dumba, Ryan Graves, Owen Pickering, Harrison Brunick, Phil Kemp. And then the goalies, Arturs Shalovs and Philip Larson. If I had to guess, Shalovs probably gets the start. Might go the entire game to see what he's got in a full runway of a game here. Philip Larson, I think he's just going to be sent down to the AHL here soon. That game, according to the Penguins here, can watch a game on SNP Plus. So if you have Sportsnet Pittsburgh app, SNP Plus, you can go watch it there. If not, it'll be on their radio station, 105.9 The X. So we'll tune into that game tomorrow night. Should be a good should be a fun one to watch. Lots of energy you should expect in that one. Might be guys' last chances to make an impact, because then I think the final preseason game Friday night, that might be just a dress rehearsal. The normals play there to get their feet under them before opening night. The 7th coming up here Tuesday night against the New York Rangers. Two coaches going against their old teams with their new teams. We'll be live for that. Hope you guys join me back here then. Opening night between the Pens and Rangers. To the comments section, real quick. Flacco here commenting, geez, watch them do better elsewhere. Yeah, I think you're talking about the Pirates and their firing of the coaching staff. I mean, I would think they wind up somewhere. I wouldn't be shocked. Now, Mike Rebello, I have no idea where the hell he's going to go, but Oscar Marine, he is going to land somewhere. I think, from a team on the outside looking in, they're going to see Oscar Marine's name next to that top 10 MLB ERA. If I had to guess, he might land as a pitching coach, or at least an assistant for, one of those lower teams. Like, well, I mean, I say that as if the Pirates are any better than teams, but, maybe he follows up with this. Maybe a team that just missed the playoffs because their pitching was bad picks up Oscar Marine, or a team that's in playoffs right now that gets knocked out early. Maybe that's the case. So Oscar Marine, I think, will end up somewhere. Mike Rebello, I don't know. Brent Strum, best of luck to him in retirement. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap things up here really quickly. Over an hour and 15 minutes into the stream here tonight. 7 of you in here, please hit that subscribe button. Going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here. Just run through all of that real quickly. Back to some extra football news real quick here. Mentioned earlier, I hinted at it, that the Calvin Austin, the third injury, might not be as serious as what we think, or what was reported by Jerry Dulac. Did not hear from Mike Tomlin today, so I wonder if he's going to have a press conference this week. Might be tomorrow, who the hell knows. But anyways, we heard from Scotty Miller and Ben Skoranek, 2 other wide receivers for the Steelers. They talking about Austin today. Skoranek said, from what I hear, he won't be out too long, and Scotty Miller said that he will be the punt returner for however long Austin is out. So, Skoranek saying he might not be out too long, and Miller saying, I'm the punt returner for now. Doesn't say he's going to be the punt returner moving forward. Austin, looks like that injury might not be as serious as what is initially perceived. That is good. Also, Nick Farabaugh covers the Steelers for Penn Live, said that he did see Austin in the Steelers facility today. He was not in a sling like what he left Croke Park in Dublin with. We'll see how much time he misses, but a good sign nonetheless. Austin not being in a sling there, so that is good. Couple other, one other piece of information here. Speaking of injuries, mentioned yesterday, Cam Johnston, former Steelers punter, guy can't catch a break, suffered a leg injury. He's officially on injured reserve for the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely sucks for him. He's out 4 weeks now, at least. A couple other loose Steelers notes here. Remember how throughout the preseason I was saying, man, I'm really high on that guy, Sebastian Castro, that safety from Iowa that the Steelers got as an undrafted free agent. Yeah, didn't really get a legit shot with the Steelers, and now he's not even on the Steelers anymore. Today, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signing Castro off the Steelers practice squad. So, hey, best of luck to him down in Tampa, Flacco's neck of the woods. Also, just a couple other things. Steelers could have, honestly, probably should have put this in the segment of the Steelers pretty much being a lock to win the AFC North right now. The Steelers in their power ranking, in the power rankings of the NFL, 13th in the Athletic, number 8 by the NFL themselves. So Steelers hovering around that top 10 team mark. Like to see it. We just mentioned Nick Farabaugh a moment ago saying that he saw Sebastian Castro in the Steelers facility, or Calvin Austin in the Steelers facility today without a sling on. Also said that he would not be surprised if when the NFL adds an 18th regular season game that you see the Steelers go overseas almost every year. Mentioned that the Steelers have marketing rights in Ireland, Germany, and Mexico. I'm sure Steelers fans are probably the most prominent fan base in those countries, but he said he wouldn't be surprised if you see the Steelers rotate between Ireland, Germany, and Mexico maybe every year once the NFL inevitably goes to an 18-game schedule. Don't know about you guys. Seems like I'd be cool with it because, I mean, damn, that was an electric environment, Ireland, over there over the weekend. So I'd be okay with that. Last thing here from the Steelers, I guess this is kind of us putting the Skylar Thompson thing to rest here. Irish police say that they are not able to substantiate a report that Steelers quarterback Skylar Thompson was robbed. I guess, nothing's going to come of it here. Really confusing as to what has happened. I thought I heard one report on the radio say he was held at gunpoint, but, if your life is threatened and all your belongings get stolen, why would you not want to pursue a, police report? So who the hell knows? Could it have been this or that? We don't know, but at least Skylar Thompson is in one piece, and looks like this whole situation is going to get put to bed. Last couple of things here for the day. One extra hockey story that I did not get to. It has nothing to do with the Penguins, but I mean, how crazy is this? I love Billy Guerin, former Pens player, and I hope he does well with whatever he does as a general manager. I'm just happy that right now he is not the Penguins general manager because he signed Kirill Kaprizov to an 8-year, $136 million deal, $17 million per year, the highest AAV and total dollars in NHL history for a winger who I'm not even sold that he's the best winger in the NHL. He doesn't even play center, which makes it even doubly bad. Just, man, crazy contract, the biggest contract in NHL history handed out today. And a former Penguin, Bill Guerin, he's the guy that did the negotiating. So thought that was a hell of an overpay there, but we'll see if I get proven wrong. Last extra news story here for the Pittsburgh Pirates for the day, other than the baffling news of firing Oscar Marine. At least, one thing with the Pirates that we can always do, look forward to a bright future. Eventually, we'll keep looking at that future, and someday it will arrive. Connor Griffin named the minor league hitting prospect of the year, according to MLB Pipeline. So Griffin wearing that award there. So congratulations to him. Please be in the MLB by sometime next season. Be the savior that we all are hoping you to be, just like Paul Skeens. That's all we can hope for. All right, gonna wrap things up here for the day. Take one last stroll here through Twitter, see if we have any new pieces of information that on the Pirates story here. So Alex Stumpf, who just said that Brent Strum is retiring, he's now walking that back again. He said that he is being told Strum is considering retiring. He's not retiring yet. Either way, his contract will not be renewed. So, yeah. Now we're switching back to why the hell did the Pirates get rid of this guy and the others to, okay, I can understand now that he's leaving. But now we're back to why the hell did we get rid of Brent Strum here and Oscar Marine. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. So I think that's going to be it here for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Another comment here from Jason Mackey of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, who was on top of that. More context. Strum winding down his career. Outside chance he returns as an advisor, but likely not in the same capacity, at least now. Pitching decision driven by desire with player input to improve even more and take next step as a staff. So the players were behind this? Player input. This pitching decision was driven by desire with player input. So they listened to the players a little bit. I guess that article from Noah Hiles yesterday with the Bucks just absolutely ripping to shreds the owner and the former manager, and I'm sure the general manager as well. I guess they saw that and say, all right, let's have our players, have a little bit more free say here before we let, stuff like that get out again. So, interesting. I'm sure more information on this will come out here within the next 24 hours, and we may revisit it then. So, interesting. Good show here today, ladies and gentlemen. The Pittsburgh Steelers in a good spot right now. Injury to Calvin Austin might not be that serious. They are sitting alone atop the AFC North right now, heading into their bye week. Unfortunately, Tyreek Hill no longer a trade option for them. Pittsburgh Penguins, they're good preseason, still continuing along. Regular season right around the corner. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, they continue to amaze us, thinking they've reached rock bottom. They continue to, I'm stealing this quote here from Dan Zangrilli from 93.7 The Fan. They continue to grab a shovel, a pickaxe, and continue to dig deeper to a rung of hell far past Satan himself. That is where we are at with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So thank you all. Thank you for tuning in here tonight and all the comments. Freight Train, it's all right that you just got here. I appreciate you coming in here and always catching up. Appreciate you guys as always. Hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday night. We will be back here tomorrow to talk more about stuff then. We'll wind down the week here. Not sure what all we're going to be talking about here, but we'll figure out something and we'll be back here tomorrow. So thank you one last time. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss a live stream or a video again. Like, share, and comment on this live stream afterwards. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR, Facebook, Instagram, and X, and tune in a little bit later tonight to SCSR 60. Thank y'all. Have a good rest of your night. Peace out. Back here tomorrow. Thank you, guys.